blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Welcome to this top 10 fairy tale arc list. So let me just say something before I get into this. I love all of the arcs of fairy tale. Okay? Like, each one has their own benefits, each one has their own downsides. This is like my personal favorite ones. This is for the anime only, not the manga. Right? This is not the manga. I said it once and twice, I'll say it again. Not the manga. This is anime only. Leave your lists in the comments below. And all the fairy tale arcs are major feels and make you want to cry. So I didn't include that reason in this list, or else it'd be impossible. Alright, so let's get started with number 10. Eclipse Spirit Arc. I know this one wasn't in the manga, so it's technically not canonical or whatever, but I enjoyed it still. I really liked it. Let's get started. Okay, so it showed you how strong the spirits could be, right? Because they're kind of weak in the anime and the manga. They were a little bit weak before this. Natsu ate that man's stomach, the Celestial Spirit King, the Eclipse one. The Spirit Rebellion was very interesting, because you had no idea what was going on, and all of a sudden you just had your friends turning on you. Little baby Aquarius. She was kind of funny and she was cute. Completely opposite of the normal. The card battle that they had, that Scorpio and Kana had, I thought that was very interesting. Natsu ate Leo's flames, and he had like dark flame and Dragon Slayer magic. It was really interesting. I really liked it. Natsu combined different realms with all of his power. He just like shot his power at the realms and combined them, and they defeated the Celestial Spirit King. The Battle of Fairy Tale. So it shows Loxus's backstory, who he was, why did he do this, all these stuff. It was emotional. I knew I said I wasn't gonna include it, but you just can't help but not feel emotional. Natsu kind of sat out during the when they all started fighting, so we got to see other characters and how they fought and stuff. Natsu beat Loxus for the first time. It shows everyone's abilities for the first time. It hints at Michigan building up intense and emotional drama, and Makarov sends Loxus off with the little L shape thing. I don't really know what it's called, but yeah, like that's the symbol. Like if you see fairy tale comments, usually they have that emoji, right? Is the Lullaby Arc. Okay, so this is for the first time we get to see Natsu's team's abilities. Titania, Urza, which was a Shakespeare reference. Get to see Gray's backstory, Aragorn versus Natsu. That's what really got me hooked on this show, is Aragorn versus Natsu, because I was like, dang, this is freaking wild, dude. It introduces the legendary Black Wizard Zeref, like it introduces the legend of him, not really him. First time we see him is in the Tenro arc. Urza was arrested, and Natsu, being Natsu, tried to save her, which is really funny. I found that really, really funny. Urza's authorities. Natsu and Gray are really scared of her, and it's really, really funny. Number 7 is Phantom Lord, right? It shows what it means to be in a guild. Gruvia, Gray and Juvia, Elemental 4, like new concepts. Makarov pissed because he hurt his children. He uses fairy law. Guild versus guild, which is very interesting. It's like a guild war. They got their revenge when Gagio like tied up Levi, Troy, and what other boy, I don't know his name. I forgot his name. Elfman uses Beast Soul for the first time since he killed Lizana by accident. Natsu versus Gagio is very interesting. And then also Lucy's backstory and where she came from, and her telling her dad off, basically. It starts off their relationship for the first time in the series too. Number 6 is the Tower of Heaven arc. I really enjoyed this arc. Like it really hooked me. Also, it was some main important parts are Urza's backstory, the major feels, Natsu using Dragon Force for the first time when he ate his Ether Nano. Different kinds of abilities. Urza's Resolve. When they were at the casino, she was like talking about why she always wore armor and stuff, and it goes into that. Jalal is introduced again. Zareth introduced again. It hints at him again. Little Urza, little bitty Urza. Even at a young age, she led a rebellion. The R system battle was very interesting. Natsu versus Jalal. It was very epic. It was like one of my favorite fights. Urza with her new samurai outfit, I just thought that was interesting because she always uses it now. Jalal versus Urza. Urza and her feels can't do nothing. Simon dies, which is kind of a sad face, and then Natsu won't let Urza die because Racion Se explains a lot about Nirvana and 400 years ago, and different villains with new abilities again. Wendy's introduced with her backstory. Another second generation dragon, which was Cobra, obviously. Jalal is back, and he's actually a good guy. Leon and Gray work together for the first time since the Deliora arc. I forgot what that arc is actually called. Well, a new guild is introduced, the Blue Pegasus, and Natsu and Jalal's Flames of Rebuke was freaking epic. Number 4, Edel Asst. I really enjoyed this arc because it explained where Happy came from, and it really focused on them. Another reason why I really like this arc is it showed that this wasn't just a Natsu show. A protagonist is not just Natsu, it's the whole team and the whole guild. So like Lucy was a strong one and Natsu didn't even have magic, and Lucy was actually strong there because usually she's not weak, but usually she's definitely not the strong one. Lizana comes back. Everyone comes together to stop ETD. The Dragon Slayers actually defeat a dragon, but it is a mechanical dragon, but it's still a dragon. Fairy Tail is an evil guild, which I thought was an interesting concept. Earthland and Edel Asst concept, I like that idea. Wimpy Natsu and the opposite personalities like Gray obsessing over Juvia and the Edel Asst arc. I thought that was really funny. And Gajil gets his cat. Alright, number 3, Tenro Island. Okay, so we got Dragon Slayer versus God Slayer for the first time. Insanely interesting, especially since Natsu had no hope in beating him until he took the risk and became a vessel for God Slayer power. Lightning Flame Dragon is introduced. Epic. It's one of my favorite combinations or like transformations, if you will. Natsu's realization of fear. Guild not letting Gramps go down alone with Acnologia, which I thought was very interesting. Zareth actually seen for the first time. Acnologia seen for the first time. The lost magic concepts. Mavis introduced. Lucy gained new spirits. Mest introduced, which you'll figure out who he is later if you haven't already. Team Natsu raid, like all of them. Gray, Urza, Wendy, and Natsu raid together. Roxas returns for the first time since he got kicked out. Makarov becomes massive, like that's the biggest we've ever seen him when he fought Acnologia. And Kana and Gildart's relationship revealed. Number 2, Tauros. It hints at E&D. Gray versus Natsu battle heats up because Igneo told Natsu not to let E&D book get destroyed, and Gray's dad wants him to destroy it. Igneo is revealed for the first time. Major feels Gray's power up because of freaking Demon Slayer and his dad, which was even more feels. Just all overall badassness. Jalal versus Orochion Seis when they or 1v6 of them. Aquarius feels. Lucy lost Aquarius. It was really sad, and I kind of cried a little bit. Okay. King summoned to the human world as a result of Aquarius. Wendy's Dragon Force for the first time. It was very interesting. Like her hair turned pink, and it was just epic. And the dragons actually explained why they were gone, where they went, and for what reasons. Now for my number 1 pick, the Grand Magic Games. I just love. Number 1, I love tournaments. Number 2, I love how they're the underdog. They need to redeem themselves from being the weakest guild in Fiore. Also, the Battle of the 4 Dragon Slayers, which I eventually turned into Natsu's 1 versus 2, and he freaking donked on him, which actually explored the second origins concept and ideas and how it affected them and how they got that power up. The unique ideas, I love how the tournament had like a bunch of days and every single day was different. It wasn't just a 1 versus 1 or team versus team. That happened at the end, of course, but before it was like a bunch of different events. Natsu versus the entire Sabretooth guild. This boy ran into their guild and beat the crap out of everybody, including their guild master. Atlas Flame is actually introduced for the first time, or Natsu's uncle. Ethnology has explained like how he turned and why he turned. Different magics, I really like the idea of that, and like the different dragon slayers and everybody's unique magics. I really liked it. Iron Shadow Dragon, another epic transformation / combination. Then Loxus's 1 versus 5 against Raventail's strongest. This man just 1v5'd like it was nothing. And it actually shows how he developed, and he doesn't care about anybody else except for Fairy Tail. Like, blood doesn't matter because everybody in Fairy Tail is blood. That was it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Let me know what y'all think.